Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's not good morning. That's because it's Thursday. We're doing it a day early. And episode 31 of Tech a Break, Adam is still slacking. A slacker. So I have brought in my very good friend, Louise Dargue. Good afternoon.
Hi. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
So, I'm very well indeed. I'm absolutely chipper, thank you. I've got a cup of coffee. I've had all my morning meetings, so I'm done and dusted now. Now I'll just course till the end of the day. So, for all of our lovely listeners out there, please tell us about you and what you do.
Okay, so I've got my own bookkeeping business. I work from home and I have lots of lovely clients.
Lots of lovely clients.
I do, yes.
Bookkeeping, just explain bookkeeping. Does that mean you keep books of them?
I've got quite a variety of clients.
Right,
I've got a lot of people who want their year-end and personal self-assessment tax return doing.
Right, okay.
I have other clients who want data management, inputting into spreadsheets, that kind of thing. People who want me to do their invoicing for them, reconcile their bank statements on some kind of accounting software.
So it's very wide and varied what you do then. I mean, it's all to do with accounts, but...
Yeah, some people would say that, but I think it's... I just love it because I like helping people and I like numbers, and I figure it kind of ticks every box.
Ticks every box for you, right, okay. So your range of clients then, is it like, say for example, I set up Resilient, but it was a one-man band, and I went, I cannot be bothered to do any of my accounts. That would be something you can do?
I could do your invoicing for you.
Right.
I could reconcile your bank statement at the end of each week or each month. I could do your year-end accounts. Right. I could do your self-assessment tax return. I could do one or all of those things. So not everybody wants everything.
Yeah, I understand that.
So it's quite nice to have a bit of variety and to be able to offer different people different things. And some people want more services than others, depending on what their business is, how capable they are, how willing they are to spend the time. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes most businesses have to hand out some kind of offload is probably a better word, to offload some of their workload. And usually it's either social media management or their bookkeeping and accounts that tends to go. Because if that is not your forte, you're better off painting people's nails or tidying up their gardens or doing whatever it is you do and letting somebody who knows what they're doing do the stuff that you don't really want to do.
No, so that's very interesting because about 2 or 3 episodes ago, myself and Adam spoke about trusted partners, and bookkeeping was one of the things that came up. So, we have a fictitious book company. It's either Adam's Rare Book Company or Andy's Rare Book Company. Okay. But we were saying throughout that journey, we started off, what do we do? Because obviously when you start off yourself, you do everything yourself.
You have to become an expert in everything, don't you?
You really, really do. Suddenly, yeah, because and as you grow, you're absolutely right. What we said was that as you grow, don't think you are saving money by sitting there at 10 o'clock at night doing your bookkeeping. Find a trusted partner like yourself, Louise, and then what you would do is you would offload that, giving you more time to grow the business, but you're trusting that person, you in this particular instance, to do the accounting for you.
Yes.
So no, I think it's a great niche. Do you also have some clients that are, with respect to your clients, bigger than the one or the two-man band, and again, you do a specific role for them?
I do. I've got a few clients like that where I would maybe log on to their account. I do most of my work remotely, although I can go and work in their office if that's what they need. So it might be half a day a week or 2 days a week, depending on what they need, a couple of days a month, and I would literally log on to their software and maybe do their invoicing, balance their bank statement, that kind of thing.
Right, okay then.
Ask any questions, so where's the receipt for this? And it's so much easier doing it weekly or monthly than at the end of the year saying, can you remember that £14.99 that you spent on Amazon last February? What was it for and where's the receipt? Because I can't remember yesterday.
No, I can't
and I'm
remember
sure
yesterday.
that a lot of clients can't remember. And when you're asking them for things like that, maybe Amazon was a bad example because you can go onto your account and check that.
Yeah, but I know
if
what you
you've
mean.
been to the petrol station or you've been into, a supermarket and picked up.
Do you, without naming your clients, do you get that scenario where I have seen a couple of comedy sketches where it's like, the end of the year, the farmer or whatever comes in, big bag of Asda and goes thump. Sort me accounts out, please.
It is a bit of a joke within the accounting stroke bookkeeping industry, but I do like to think that I train my clients, for want of a better word. Maybe that was a bit strong, but by suggesting if they bring me a carrier bag full of receipts, if it's going to take me 3 hours to sort those receipts, then that's 3 hours that I have to charge them.
Of course, is
usually sufficient to make them think I'll put them in some sort of order.
Yeah, before dropping them off.
But actually worse than that is that when they roll them up, rolled up receipts, it's, oh my goodness.
Faded.
Yes.
Faded, and you're sat there going, what?
Yes.
It's a fumigement from something.
For £1 something.
Whatever.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
And obviously, again, 8 months later or 12 months later, they're not easy to find if they're missing.
No, I can imagine. But again, is that you taking your client on a journey to sort of like say, look, I'm not telling you what to do or how to do it, but if you do this, it's much easier for you and for me.
Yeah, when I set up my business 7 years ago, a lot of my clients were either brand new or newly established.
Right.
And that's kind of the area I would probably say that I specialise in.
Right.
So when I meet them for the first time, and obviously you have that getting to know you, getting to know their business, which I absolutely love, by the way. I love finding out what, not because I'm nosy, but because I'm curious and looking at ways that I can offer solutions and help them.
Yes, of course, yeah.
And it's usually at that point that I sort of make the suggestion that perhaps the carrier bag full of receipts isn't the best route for anybody.
Really?
I do still have a couple of clients who roll them up, but sometimes you just have to take a deep breath and accept it. If there's not too many, I don't usually mind.
Of course not. Do you do that thing where you wish your facial expression didn't want them out when you like roll your eyes and go, really?
Unfortunately, I do have one of those faces, as do both my sisters, and we often send pictures of mugs and T-shirts and things that you see on maybe Facebook. Says,
this is me.
If my mouth doesn't say it, my face usually will. So yes, I do have one of those faces.
Interesting. But I'd like to think that, with your clients and with your services, do you get, off subject, but do you grow with your clients? Is there a point do you think that the client would get not too big, but then just go, well, thank you so much, Louise, I've now got an internal person?
It hasn't happened, but yes, of course it could.
Yes.
I don't deal with limited company accounts.
Right.
So if a client got to a point where it's beneficial to them to become a limited company, and obviously there's a threshold.
Yeah,
really,
the VAT threshold. I know all about that because of Hillary and everything in my last podcast.
The VAT threshold, I do VAT returns, so that is a service that I offer, but a VAT return is based on their turnover, not their profit. And a profit would usually be what determines whether they need to move to a limited company.
Yeah.
So I do have sort of other accountancy companies that I can then pass them on to.
Oh, nice.
Obviously, they don't have to go that route, but I do have that. And that has happened with some clients. And that is just, whilst it's sad to see them go, it's nice to see that you've helped them to get to that position.
I said that 100%, Louise. I had that with a customer that has grown to the point where they've needed their own IT company. And I've been fantastic. They've thanked me. I've thanked them. I'm like, I'm really proud to get you to this far. And now good luck for the future.
Yes, yeah.
And I've still got some clients that come back to me. Can you do me a quick favour?
And they would still recommend you to friends and family who maybe need something that is more niche, your niche.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I mean, I still get recommendations from those clients.
100%, and we'll touch on that in a little while. But again, do you feel as though like word of mouth recommendations is just the best thing ever?
Massively, massive. When I first started, obviously, I did a little bit of advertising in a local newspaper, magazine, whatever you would call it.
Like a local.
It's
like
a local.
No,
just like a local. And I got quite a lot of business from that.
Very good.
But as a result, that has then given me more clients by recommendation,
Yes, of course.
Nephews, uncles, dads, whatever, friends and family and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's always nice because it's free apart from anything else.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything but do a good job.
But if I was looking for a service, so you wanted to get your nails done or your eyebrows done or something, to me, a personal recommendation is far better than seeing an advert time after time after time on Facebook.
Yeah,
because whilst,
exactly.
yes, it's good and it's that repetition, but a personal recommendation is better.
It goes a long way. It goes a long way, doesn't it?
Massively
exactly.
so, yeah.
So what's the thing that you were saying that you would specialise in most? I mean, I know you offer a very varied service, but is it the bookkeeping side of it? Is it the VAT side of it? Is it? What's the niche for you?
I would say I specialise in small sole trader businesses, new or relatively new.
existing.
Yes, because that's what I enjoy.
Yeah.
And that tends to be what I get the recommendation for.
Right.
So that's
Okay, understand. So what about your background? Because obviously there must have been a time when you weren't Dargue bookkeeping. What about your background? Where did the love of numbers come from, if you like?
I think you've either got that brain or you haven't you?
Yeah, I definitely haven't got a number brain. Mine's a keyboard brain.
Mine's not a tech brain, though,
No,
as
very
you well
true,
know, which
as
I'm
I
sure
know.
we'll come on to.
Yeah.
So I worked for Barclays Bank for over
Oh,
20
right, okay.
years. That was straight from school.
So was mathematics stroke, not bookkeeping, but was accountancy always your thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
You just-
Prior to that, I sort of thought I might want to be a maths teacher.
Right, but even that was numbers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then I just thought, no, maybe
Kids.
that's
Yeah, maybe not.
too many all in one room at the same time. So we decided.
You wouldn't last long.
No, I don't
exactly.
think so.
No.
So I worked for Barclays for over 20 years. Had a
Gosh.
little bit of time out, did other things. Worked for a travel agents for 3 or 4 years, which I really enjoyed. But
Yeah.
that was kind
Was
of
that
down to my.
accountancy as well or not?
Well, obviously everything has to balance. There's still a foreign till department
okay
as there
then.
was then. You've got to. Yeah,
Right.
it is numbers, but that was more my holiday. Love of holidays.
No,
I
you
thought
don't have
that-
a love of holidays.
I thought that might get an eye roll.
No, you never tell us you're going on holiday.
Well, I do like a countdown as well, also numbers. And then I worked for accountancy firm in Darlington.
Oh, wow. So it's
So,
always been numbers.
always been,
Numbers,
yeah.
arithmetics
Yeah,
and numbers
yeah.
of that. And is it just, that is something that just really...
I think you either get it or you don't.
I don't
and
get
it's
it at
just, it's black or it's white.
Yes.
So, that this is the right answer. And
Right.
if something's wrong by a penny, it's worse than being wrong by £100.
No, exactly. Okay, but that's good because you've got that tenacity to sort of like say, no, I want to fix that. And obviously, as we well know, when you're running your own business, certainly obviously we know each other outside of work as well. When it comes to numbers, I'm like, yes, Michelle, off you go. No clue. But that's obviously from that point of view. So what was it that made you think I want to set up on my own?
I think I'd always had that something.
Yeah.
My dad was self-employed.
Was he really? Right.
So I think I think that's a bit of an inbuilt thing.
Yeah.
Because being self-employed isn't easy. And that is
Tell me
one
about
of the
it.
things that I like to be able to support my clients on as well. Because it's, yes, okay, I help them with the numbers and the understanding of that, but it's the process of what they need to do to become self-employed, not just with their accounts, but have they set up social media? And whilst I'm not saying that I'm an expert in social media, I can dabble and do the basics.
course.
And that's all they need at that
Yes.
stage. So, have you thought about setting up social media? What about a website? Have you got an email address? Because John Smith at
Gmail, yeah.
Gmail. It's not ideal. It doesn't look very professional.
No.
And I think that you've got to get them from A to B of being a person
Yeah.
to being a business. And unless things like that are pointed out to them, they just think, well, a Gmail address. I've got a Gmail address. Why do I need a different?
Absolutely.
But it's only when you've got that real life example of all of your, I don't know, Amazon purchases, for example, or your holiday bookings. Not that
Yeah.
I want to go back to holidays or anything, but
I'm shocked.
and in with your work emails, because
Yeah.
what if you miss something? What
Absolutely.
if that really important customer comes on and you miss it because you've been too busy, looking at your Sainsbury's delivery or whatever. So I do think you need to have that differentiation between the two. But they don't always think of that because they've got
They
an email
don't.
address already. So it's simple things like that. So I think that whilst, yes, okay, I'm a bookkeeper, when they are just starting out, it's nice to be able to help and encourage them and be genuinely interested as well.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Because I think sometimes just having an accountability partner by saying, this next week I want to do X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
So if somebody emails you at the end of the week or sends you a quick text, did you manage to get all of that done? Not in a hounding way,
no,
but in a supportive way.
Almost like a business partner way.
Yes, yeah. So that's something that I don't advertise it as a service, but I kind of just do.
But that's because of who you are, and obviously, we will come on to that. But I think that's really nice. But going back to your point, and again, no disrespect to any of that, but there are the sole traders out there that'll just go, well, I've got, like Teddy Boy at gmail.com, and they're just thinking,
I've seen
why?
some funny ones.
Have you really?
Yes, I can't remember them off the top of my head, but some of them you just think, that's a long time ago, and that's really not appropriate for a business email.
It isn't.
But I do have a little chuckle every now and again.
I do as well. It still is my pet hate, unfortunately, when you're driving and you see that, as I said, teddyboy12 at hotmail.com, you're like, no. But, talking about what you were picking up on there, it's actually also, it's easy for them to say, but I've already got an email address. Why would I need to change? And it's so much hassle to change. Like, no, it's not. It really, really isn't. You just put a simple forwarder on. And I think nowadays, and certainly, I know you agree, teddyboy12 at gmail.com or, hello at, and then the proper company name. Nowadays, it's very, very easy to do that. And I do genuinely believe it makes you look and be that more professional. No disrespect to anything that's out there at the moment, but I just think it's easy now to have that. And I do think in today's world, teddyboy12 at gmail.com or, hello at blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, actually, I'd go with that one, not the Teddy Boy one, unless it was word of mouth recommendation.
Of course, which supersedes everything.
Which supersedes everything, that's fine. But that's really good in terms of what you've done there. So as you said, it was always something built into you that you wanted to stride and do your own thing?
Over the years, I'd had my own little businesses doing various other little things, selling cosmetics, skincare, that kind of thing. I ran a weight loss class at one point, so I've kind of always had that little bit of wanting something more, I think, because what I was doing at the time wasn't enough.
But it was a job. It was
a job, and it paid the bills.
Absolutely.
But I wanted something else. So, I have lots of other hobbies that I like to do, but looking back, I wanted a successful business.
Yeah.
Which I now have.
Yes.
And is also my job. So it's kind of a few things all rolled into one, so I don't have to work and then do something else to earn some extra money as well, because it's all encompassing.
No, exactly. And I'd mentioned it last week to Simon, and I mentioned it last week to my previous guest, Des, and I was basically saying it to me, it was scratching that itch that I needed.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to set up, I wanted to be able to do it, be my own boss. Now, going back to what you're on, it's very hard. It's ridiculously hard at times because you're working long hours to try and help. But I still believe there's no better satisfaction you get out of it when it's like...
so rewarding.
100%.
It's scary, and I often say that to new customers as well. It's as scary as hell, but it's also very rewarding.
Yeah.
And there are times when you don't sleep, or you're worried, or you're concerned. I don't sleep now for some of my clients, and they sleep like a baby. It's me that does the worrying. But I guess that's just, the way it is.
No, exactly. But again, as you said, if setting up your own business and running your own business was easy, everybody would be doing it.
So, it's not for everybody, though.
No, it's not.
Because, it's definitely not for the faint-hearted.
No, because you do everything. Even you, when you are, and we'll touch on that when we get to the next part, but even you're your own accountant, you're your own creditor, you're your own chaser of debt, you're your own advertiser. And so, it's a hell of a job.
You've got to learn social media. Which platform do you need to do?
God, absolutely.
How often do you need to post? Are your posts good enough? And you've got no... Unless I suppose you're a partnership or you do employ staff, which you can still do as a sole trader. Unless you do that, you have nobody to bounce ideas off.
Correct.
So it is quite nice to, I suppose, have other like-minded, like our friendship, is kind of built on that. And it's just nice to almost have a sounding board.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the same person for every single element. But for you, obviously, I mean, I wouldn't go anywhere else
Yeah.
other than, oh my God, I've got a problem with my laptop or whatever. Andy, you know, straight on the phone.
Yeah.
And, you know, everybody has that. But to begin with, you don't have those connections.
No, you don't, do you?
So that is something that you have to build up and build up that know, like, and trust relationship with them as well. Because like IT, like we've said before, you've got to trust whoever can get into your laptop at any given time. You know, like you've got to trust
the
who you put in.
accountants,
Exactly. So, you know, are they doing the right thing? Are they putting the right numbers into your tax return?
And again, Adam and myself picked up on that, and that's why we used the word trusted partner, because obviously, you know, you giving me access to your IT and the fact that I can see every email, that's trust. Me giving you, or some of your companies giving the accounts to say, please make sure that I am, you know, legal and all that. That's a huge trust.
It is, because obviously you see how much money they've got or not got in their bank statements,
absolutely.
how much money they're owed, how much money they owe.
Yes.
You know, and obviously there's a lot of trust there for the confidentiality thing.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I suppose from me, but from being 16 when I got a job in the bank, confidentiality was a big thing.
No, exactly. Sorry, I just do that.
I know you're just making eyes at other women.
No, it's the cameras. I do it all the time. So no, it is a massive trust thing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But again, you know, that I get that buzz, and you must get that buzz when they are, and when you see the customer growing. So obviously, I've got customers that have started as 1-man or 2-man bands, 3-man, 4-man, 5-man, and it's grown. That's a massive buzz. You must get the same.
Oh, absolutely. I think as well, it's because when knowing the business, you know what their expectations and hopes and dreams are as well.
Yeah, of course.
I don't have any desire to employ staff.
No.
Because I don't want to... I want to be able to go on holiday when I want to. Sorry if I mentioned holidays again. I want to be able to go on holiday whenever I want to. I don't want to have to ask somebody or say to somebody, I'm going on holiday next week. Can you do X, Y, and Z for me? So I have no desire to do that.
No.
That's not wrong. It's not, you know, it's just, that is just how I am.
Exactly.
I'm quite happy. Bearing in mind I work from home.
Yeah.
How would I employ somebody? Would they have to come to my house? Would they also work remotely?
Yeah.
There's all of those things. But I understand what my clients want as well. So do they want to grow? Do they want to take on an apprentice? Are they looking to employ members of staff?
Yeah.
Are they, I don't want to say wanting to be VAT registered, but wanting to be VAT registered means you've got to be earning, you know, turning over a lot of money.
Yeah.
So for some people, that is a driver.
Yeah, no, exactly right. And again, you know, going to your clients, you must have. Do you have a wide varied? I mean, you know, like 1-man bands, like a 10-man band, non-VAT registered, VAT registered.
Yeah, I think I've got about 60 clients altogether.
Wow, pretty good over the 7 years. Yeah.
20 of them are landlords.
Right.
So, you know, they have a property, 3 properties, you know, that they look after and rent out. Most of them are sole traders, couple of partnerships, some are VAT registered.
Right, okay.
Others are limited companies who are literally just go in and do what is traditionally thought of as bookkeeping.
Yes.
So I don't do any year-end accounts or
No.
tax returns for them, but I do everything up to that point
Yes, of course.
for them.
Right.
So, yeah.
So again, very varied, right? And so you must see a great deal of, you know, individuality, and also see a great deal of commonality, where you're constantly doing the same thing. And not that that's boring in any way, but I'm saying you can just turn your hand to go, I'm just in doing this today. I've no need to worry about the VAT. This customer, I'm with them. I'm on their journey with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, there's no imminent deadlines. So obviously you have the end of January for people's tax returns.
Yeah.
Otherwise, my only deadlines are the VAT quarters.
Right, okay.
So, again, back to holidays, I can plan
Have you mentioned holidays? I've not noticed.
once or twice. It was always going to happen, Andy.
It is really, isn't it? Yeah, exactly.
So I tend to be able to work around those and either work more before I go away or know that I've got to work more when I come home. So that's, for me, that's the beauty of being self-employed.
No, exactly.
I wouldn't go back to being employed unless I was desperate.
Yeah, I think, as I say, I've got a few friends that have tried setting up their own businesses and blessed them maybe due to COVID or other things. They've gone back to being employed. I don't think I ever could neither. You know, obviously, I'm touch wood. I've been going 20 odd years now. You know, long may it continue. But yeah, being that own boss, and obviously we work very hard, as you know. But still having that enjoyment, it really is that ability to be. No,
It's
I'm
just
enjoying it.
if you want next Friday off,
Yeah,
you
I
don't
could
have
do
to
it.
ask anybody.
No.
You could if you
No,
wanted
I've got
to.
to ask Michelle.
Well,
Yeah, I can't. I'm not allowed to take Fridays off.
but in theory,
I
for
could.
everybody except you.
For everybody except me. They all fill in holiday forms. I don't. I'm just told no, but that's fine. So going on to, I suppose, how you grew the business. And obviously we met at a Darlington Business Club. We obviously had Jason
yes.
on. And we met that. And that's where we got talking because you were interested in it or looking to maybe... And
I think my business was relatively new then, because it must be about 6 years ago we met.
It must be, Louise. But what I was trying to get at, it was fairly new. And I'm trying to think of the right question here for you. You didn't like other people. You didn't go, I just want louise@hotmail.com. I didn't want that. When we first met, you were like, no, I want a proper email address. I want my domain. You know. So what was that difference? How did you know not just, I'll just go and get a Hotmail account then or a Gmail account? What was that driver for you to speak to me to go, I'd like some help, please?
I think just knowing that you need to be professional.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'd worked for other firms that had their websites or whatever, so it's just more professional.
Yeah.
And I think having come from a corporate background, as
Barclays,
well.
yeah.
I mean, I know we're going back a long time, and things have changed massively as they do. But even then, you sort of, it's just far more professional.
Yeah.
And if I was, if I was setting up a nail or beauty business or something like that, it's probably less corporate.
Yes, it is. I know what you mean, because it's more of a personal...
Yes, yeah. So that's maybe more acceptable. But I think for a bookkeeping firm, the expectations are probably a bit higher.
No, I suppose that's a very good point. I'd like somebody to do my bookkeeping. It's Louise at hotmail.com.
Yeah.
Again, you're right. It's probably not given that right impression. So when we first chatted, it was, I'd like to do this. I'd like a proper domain name. I'd like a proper website. I'd like a proper that. So really, that's how you've grown. And we've got to know each other, inside of work and outside of work. But that, to me, is a real good example of how a small business, because bless you are a small business, but you've grown. But I think it's fair to say the professionalism and the foundation that you've got, even though you don't want to, Louise, you could grow now to 3 to 4 to 5 people because you've got the infrastructure there. And again, that's why I was saying the trusted partner. You came to me as say, look, I'd like you to look at my IT, see if you can do for me. We obviously built your website. We got you the Microsoft 365. We got you working on your laptop. So again, that's you trusting me to go into that business. So can we just touch on that then? Once I did that for you, because obviously Microsoft 365 email address, your laptop, do you feel as though that was a platform? And did that make you feel more confident going out to your customers to say, I can do that with Excel and an email and?
How many questions was that?
It was a lot. It means I can drink my coffee and sit back.
Obviously, I use Excel a lot.
Yes, obviously.
I probably should use PowerPoint more, and I'm getting there, but Excel is my go-to.
Of course it is.
Basically, for me, what can't be done on an Excel spreadsheet isn't worth doing, as I'm sure most accountants and bookkeepers would probably say the same thing. So, I mean, it keeps it all in one place. I know if I've got a question on the phone to Andy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Haven't really had that many
No,
issues as such, to be fair. Obviously, a couple of updates and things like that, but it's worked quite well, I would say.
100%. And one of the funny things that I think is good about where Resilient come from, and that the fact that you don't feel as though you constantly have to ask me, or you don't ring up with a particular problem. The most of the time you're asking for advice. How do I do this? How do I make sure this is working better, or can I do this in a better? Yes, you've had the odd issue, unfortunately, with your printer or God knows what else. But I feel as though the lack of IT issues that you have is probably thinking, well, that's because I look after it for you and I maintain it. And, the fact that I don't hear from you day to day, I'm like, that's good, you're not ringing me from that point of view. So obviously your Microsoft is the go-to thing with your Excel of that. Do you find that majority of customers also use Microsoft, or is it varied? Is it?
There's a bit of a variety. I mean, some of them are better than others at using the software.
Right.
If they've got software, they tend not to need Excel for what they do. I kind of usually train them in how do they do their own invoicing on that particular software.
Oh, right. Okay, I'm with you.
Prior to that, I tended to do most of things for them because I've got a lot of hair and nail beauty businesses which don't really need an Excel spreadsheet as such. I do have people who use Google Sheets.
All right, okay.
But I think because they do very minimum on there,
it works
it's
for them.
enough
it's
for what they
perfect.
need. Yes. For me, I don't think it would be sufficient. And whilst there are a lot of similarities between the two, in my opinion, it's not as good and not as...
I have customers that are on Google Workspace. I have customers on Microsoft. Obviously, and you know this, I am Microsoft through and through. And yes, I would say that somebody could definitely demonstrate to me and go, Google Sheets can do everything that Microsoft does. And I'm like, absolutely, I'm not a problem. My issue is always when I have a customer going, I've sent this Google Sheet to this customer, and the other customer's gone, I can't open it properly, or there's some incompatibility. And I'm like, Google and Microsoft say they play together. Unfortunately, it doesn't always come out that way. No, exactly. So how did, 7 years ago, obviously, you must have been around when COVID hit.
21, I thought you were going to say.
No, goodness me, no. So were you around working with your bookkeeping when COVID hit? Did you find that increased your workload?
Massively.
Yeah, exactly.
Massively. I was not out painting my fence or sunbathing and building bars in the back garden like the rest of the
yeah, exactly.
like the rest of the community seemed to be. So I almost begrudged it a little bit.
Yeah, me too. And as you know, we flat out.
And it was obviously, well, for you, it was a massive sort of steep learning curve, not for so much for you, but for your clients.
Oh, gosh.
They were working from home, and it happened virtually overnight.
It did,
and you
didn't
had to, sort it all out by yesterday for them.
Definitely so. But
for me,
grew.
I got new clients. I found that obviously when did we go into lockdown? It was about March. So instead of, obviously people can get their paperwork to me anytime from April onwards. Now, I had a lot of customers that left it till October, November, December, but miraculously that year, I got a lot very early, which meant that I was very busy during lockdown, so it gave me something to do.
Right.
Otherwise, I could have been painting my fence.
You could have been like everybody else. Yeah, exactly. Do you think COVID forced people to think, do you know what, I am going to set up on my own, or do you think they were forced by the going into... what was the phrase? You went on
I don't
leave
know
or whatever.
that they were forced into becoming self-employed, but I think it prompted a lot of people. I think people did a lot of thinking.
Yeah.
Am I happy in my job?
Maybe I've got more time to work on my hobby. Could I make that into a business?
Could that be a business? Yeah. So I think that prompted a lot of people. I think not just to become self-employed, but to do other things with their life. So, start a new hobby or go on more holidays. It was almost like a massive new year.
Yes.
People seem to come up with these resolutions that I don't know if they followed them through or not. I was too busy working.
Me too. Yeah, ridiculously busy.
Didn't happen in my life.
No, definitely not. Okay, well, that's interesting. So in terms of you working from home then, do you have I know you've obviously got a home office.
Yes.
Yeah. And again, do you find that you had to separate that office when you were working from home? Like you could shut the door on the office?
So when I first became self-employed, this is a little bit of self-disclosure here.
Yeah. It's okay, Alina can bleep it all out.
I discovered that my time management skills were absolutely shocking. So
I'm shocked. Not.
So I would be working, and then I would think, I think I'll just go and have a cup of tea, which is fine. That happens.
Absolutely.
But then the dishwasher needed emptying, or the postman came to the door, and I'll just go on Facebook. And before you knew it, that 3-minute making a cup of tea became 40 minutes because you were down the rabbit holes that is Facebook. But the dishwasher was emptied.
Oh, well, of course. And the ironing was done. And
I don't know about ironing.
No,
don't push it.
No.
So it has its advantages.
Yes.
But you do have to get better at not being distracted by things. And I think... No disrespect, but I think that's probably worse for a woman.
Right.
Because I think that a woman would probably be more distracted and think the dishwasher just in my experience, the dishwasher needs emptying. I don't know if a man would necessarily.
No.
No.
In my household,
Do you know what I mean? No. So I do think there's an element of that, but it depends what you do, I guess. If you are a beauty therapist, then you've got clients coming and throwing, to and fro all the time, haven't you? So you don't have the same opportunities to go and make a cup of tea, go on Facebook, etc., etc. If you are garden maintenance, you're out and about. You're still self-employed, but you're out and about. So everybody's business looks different.
Oh, absolutely.
Mine is just obviously predominantly home-based, which I love.
No, exactly. And I know that Michelle, she works in the office on Mondays and Fridays. And again, as you say, no disrespect, but she will, bless her, had a busy day. And she's like, yes. And she'll reel off a massive list of what she's done. And then she'll say, and I emptied the dishwasher, and I did this, and I did that. And God bless, As I say, you know as well as I do, I try as best as I can. But she does look after me and the house and stuff like that. But I think it was also important for us. We were finding with the home office, we would just getting dragged into, on the way to the kitchen to make my tea. Oh, I'll just check my emails. And then you're right.
So you were getting distracted in the opposite way.
Absolutely.
Rather than away from work, you were getting distracted by work.
Yeah, I was getting distracted, which is great. And obviously when the opportunity came to have a business office here in Business Central, it was perfect for us. It allowed us to shut the door.
Yes.
But obviously I do know you have your home office and I do know you shut that door.
Yes.
And is that deliberate to sort of go?
Absolutely.
I'm not.
And if the door gets left open, I shut it. It's one of my first jobs. Because you do need that. So it's all well and good. Yes, okay, your commute is really short and you can do it in your dressing gown if you want to. However, you've also got that, should I go and do that?
Yeah.
And it's almost you can make yourself feel quite guilty about it. So there's for's and againsts.
Oh, well, as you know, I've got it completely the wrong way around. I work far too hard at this moment in time, but that's changing. So let's go on to the home office, because obviously I do know you have the lovely Andy. Great name, by the way. Obviously, he's got his business, and you're now helping him in his business now. Yeah,
invoicing, just the basic stuff, really, because he doesn't. So it's hard to explain, but basically he doesn't have very many clients.
No,
but he does big projects.
He does huge projects.
So he doesn't have lots of invoicing, but when he does, it's for a higher amount.
Of course.
So that's the difference. So it doesn't generate a great deal of work for me. But I know, you probably have him on at some point as well.
Yeah.
But he's massively now a Teams convert.
Oh, hey, I can't think who he got that from.
So, he's your guy. If you want to talk to somebody about Teams, he definitely is your guy. So I've sort of dipped my toe in the water a little bit through that.
Yeah.
Yes, I probably could embrace it a little bit more, but to be honest, I really don't have the time at the moment.
No, but I do know that your use of Teams for you, Dark Bookkeeping, is becoming more prevalent because of the work you're doing with Andy, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely,
it's like everything, as you learn and become more confident with it, you tend to use it much. Back to Excel, I know I keep harping on about it, but...
No, it's holidays you keep harping on about.
Oh, sorry. But Excel, I think a lot of it, the limitations for people are knowing what it can do.
Oh, gosh, there's nothing it can't do, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I had a joke with a customer a couple of weeks ago, and we were saying about our love of spreadsheets. So we have a bit of an affiliation with that. And I actually saw something on Facebook that same night that said something along the lines of, I came into the office today with lots of problems. I've gone home with the same problems, but they're all on a spreadsheet.
Yes! Yes!
And he thought that was hilarious.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. No,
but, if you are a bit of a spreadsheet kind of queen or king, then...
Yeah, well, Michelle's love of spreadsheets as well. It's definitely good. But just talking and touching on the Teams, I know that obviously, I've had a long discussion with Andy and he loves Teams, but I have noticed that your techie questions to me have become, how can I put it, more collaborative. You've said, okay, so are you telling me that my customers don't have to email me everything? I could create this area within Teams and they can just drop it in. Yeah. So are you starting to use that a little bit more and easier? Is that making life easier for you?
I'm getting there.
You're getting
it's
there.
Work in progress. Because some of my clients are very old school.
Right, okay.
And, I've always had that ethos of hand-holding.
Yes,
and
course.
I don't want to lose that. So I think, if they are a little bit of a technophobe, then I do have to accept
I
that.
suppose that's a good point I never thought of, because you might have the best system in the world and they're just going, no, it's too complex. Can I just email these things to you?
Yeah.
And that's
or
fine.
I get a photo at 9:30 at night of a receipt on WhatsApp from somebody.
At least it's not rolled up.
No.
It can't, because they've got to take the photograph on WhatsApp.
Good point.
Okay, well, that's interesting, though. So you feel, and probably quite rightly so, you obviously pitch your technical abilities, not in terms of Excel, but ease of use, depending on your client.
Yes.
If he's a particular client that's going, if I started introducing Teams to him, I'd lose him.
Yeah, and it's the same with software. If I'm speaking to them and it's quite obvious that they are not going to be able to do any kind of work on software,
right,
then I'm happy to get paper receipts and information written into a notebook or a diary.
Even though, may I ask, that will obviously cost them more, because that's more of your time.
Yes.
Right, but they must be happy with that, because it's
yeah.
easier.
But for some people, they don't have the capability to do that. And that's fine, because I still want to be able to help them.
Yeah.
I just help them in a slightly different way.
Yeah, of course.
So they're still doing some of the work by writing down, their mileage or how much they've earned or whatever. And I just have to do a little bit more legwork.
Right,
so to me, that is part of the service that I offer.
No,
so it doesn't
of course.
matter how techie I can be. If it's not relevant for them, then, it doesn't happen.
Okay, then. Well, let's touch on your techie, because obviously...
Oh, dear.
No. I think it's a good thing. So for our viewers out there, obviously, as I say, we have a good relationship now. We spend time outside of work as well as... Excuse me for that. And I've certainly noticed your obsession with your business to make you grow, but not to grow to a point where you want to put on people. Mm-hmm. You've obviously come to us about your website. You've come on about your social media. You're now starting to manage that very well, and I believe you're now offering that to other people. Again, as more as a friendly, I can help you with this. You're not the expert. You've openly said that.
That's one thing I think I don't want ever to suddenly claim to be a website designing, whatever person to go to. But I think for a basic website, then with your help and support, I feel quite capable of being able to do that. And I do like to see how things look, and I think. How can I put it? I think I've got quite a good eye to be able to see something and think that doesn't look right.
Yes.
It needs something taken away, something adding. It needs to be moved elsewhere.
Yeah.
And for me, obviously, a website is a very visual thing.
Oh, it is.
So, again, a bit like the Excel spreadsheet, designing a website, it's not necessarily being able to do it.
No.
It's knowing that a facility exists and that it can be done.
Yes.
So, for example, on my website that we've just gone and relaunched.
I know, very nice, isn't it?
It's got the flippy boxes. So you hover over it, tells you that it's got the title and the box flips.
I like your technical, the flippy boxes.
It's
called a hover box.
All right, well, I think flippy box sounds better.
See,
I think
that's where we get to.
I think we need to feed that back to WordPress and say perhaps they should consider
flippy
a name
boxes.
change.
Yeah, exactly.
From a hover box to a flippy box.
WordPress, no, don't even go there. However, I think what's interesting is that the way that you've explained that, though, is what you were saying about your clients. You've got that ability, and I know you have. You've got that knack of sort of like saying, but I understand how I've just explained it to myself. Mm-hmm. Me explaining to potentially one of your clients about a hoverbox, they'll probably go, what? Sorry?
They wouldn't know what a hoverbox was, Andy.
Whereas
if
you said a flippy box.
And then they get it straight away.
Well,
what can I say?
Well, absolutely. So you're
just
feeling...
Call me Mrs. WordPress.
No, I can think of better. But I suppose, again, you offering that to your customers, that must, again... It's not that you're looking, as you said, quite rightly, you're not looking to suddenly, I am the webmaster, I am the social media, but you must be feeling as though you can help your customer establish themselves. Because I picked up on something you said right at the very start. Nowadays, and you must be the same, brand new customer, a brand new service of somebody, the first thing that you do must be to validate them.
Yes.
Have they got a website? Have they got a Facebook?
Yep.
As you quite rightly said, it's johnboy@70hotmail.
No.
No, just not interested. So are you feeling as though this journey that you can help with your customers, if they want it, you can assist them with that website, with your social media,
Yes.
with that? Yeah.
And I think it's being able to help them with more elements of their
Yeah.
business. So they're still a new business.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
still have all of these needs. They, a bit like me when I started out, you know, you have to decide. You can't afford to pay for advertising and marketing, somebody
Gosh,
to do your
no.
social media,
Yeah.
somebody to do your accounting and everything to begin with. Nobody can do that unless they've got a massive budget, in which case good luck to them. But the majority of new small traders, they've got a minimal or non-existent almost budget, because at this point they might not have earned any money at all. Is it going to work? Are they going to be successful? Are they going to get any customers? Will they
Gosh,
have an income?
absolutely.
Or are they just paying out money
Yeah, yeah.
after money after money? So I think people, they're not so much wanting to look to do things on the cheap, but they want to do things and spend what money they do have wisely. So they'll learn what they can learn and do initially until they can afford to pass it out to people, but then they'll do as much as they can themselves. If I'm able to help support them with their bookkeeping and their year ends, that's a massive thing for them.
Oh gosh, absolutely.
But if I can then also say, well, I can do this, and I'm not going to charge the earth for it as well, because, you know, it's a balancing act.
It is.
And yeah, they appreciate that they need a website, but they don't want to pay thousands for it. But equally, they don't have time to learn how to do it themselves. Then they're happy almost for that sort of midway point.
Yes.
So, you know, get somebody to do a website for not a huge amount of money, and, you know, change it at a later date, add to it if they need to, whatever. You know, I can help them with their social media a little bit. Obviously, I'm not claiming to be a social media expert, but enough to get them, you know, up and running.
Yeah, but if we look at your if we look at your Facebook social media side of things, and obviously we help tremendously with that. Lots of good chats, lots of trying to work it out, and obviously, again, to be fair, we did it as a friend to you, as a favour. But again, I've noticed if I take bless our friendship out of this, I've noticed your regularity of your social media posts, and I've noticed all the little things that I've been chirping on at you, and I'm like, no, that's really good, Louise. Well done, Louise. Because as we've said, it's not just this, it's not just that, it's not, and you know, you say the exact same words that I don't know what to say. And I'm going, you don't have to. Just what's on your mind today. Have you got lots of Excel spreadsheets? You went, yes, I have. I went, fine. Look, we took a little photograph of Excel and we posted it up there.
Yeah, but in some ways, it is easier if you've got a product or a service that you're saying that's visual. So if you, I know I'm going back to painting people's nails.
Yeah.
You can post a picture of, oh, great. Oh, they look really lovely.
Absolutely.
Oh, I did somebody's accounts today.
Yeah, but
It's not exciting or sexy, is it?
But
it's thinking outside of the box.
Yeah.
And I suppose, yes, I probably am getting a bit better at it.
no, you are.
But I'm scheduling them as well, you see.
I see all these little hints and tips are all coming back. But again, I think going back to what your point is, I think it's a really great idea, and obviously we chatted about this, and which is why I'm supporting you. But your customers must feel, well, I'm already trusting you to do my accounts. Are you telling me you can also help me? And you're quite right, you made it very clear, I'm no expert. However, if you feed me some tidbits of information, you can schedule a post on Facebook. That means that their social media presence grows, which means their business grows, which means they pass more work to you. It's a win-win as far as I'm concerned.
And apart from anything, social media, really, it's predominantly free.
It is, 100%.
So
and that's why...
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, but we've spoken about this in previous episodes. I've got, some of my customers point blank. No, I'm not doing social media. I think it's a scam. I think it's a waste of time. And I'm like, yeah, but sadly nowadays, and we've said this before.
Like it or not, it's there, isn't it?
It's there. And I think, again, if you have a customer or somebody that's looking for a product, first thing they do, have you got a website? And then they will go and look for you on social media.
Yep.
If you haven't got a social media presence, and I'm really sorry to my friends out there, I'm going, that's a markdown. You would do the same now.
Yes.
You would go, no social media presence. Okay.
It's the first place you go to, isn't it?
And I think nowadays, obviously, Facebook, if you think they've evolved nowadays,
massively.
they recommendations. Has anybody got this? the best thing in the world is just to go onto Facebook. All right, Louise is asking recommendations for, off I go to the Facebook page, paste that in.
Yep.
Again, it's a win. You're inside the Facebook platform. You click on a link to go to their Facebook page. I could say, hey, check out Andy. He's really good with his IT. Please give him a call on. If you were then saying, hey, resilient business, click on this link, they're going to click on the link.
Yes.
Because, right, I'll just take a note of that. No, I'll click on the link.
Yeah.
Because the website's then got a call to action. I'll click on that. It's ringing me. That's so much easier.
Absolutely.
So I think that's really great that you're offering that to your customers. So again, is that something that you just not born out of wanting to make more money? I think from our initial discussions, that's been born out of the willingness to help.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, every business wants to make money.
Yes.
But there are ways to do it, aren't there?
Yeah.
And I would hate to come across as like taking somebody's eyes out
No.
or whatever. I would far rather, she's really nice and helpful.
Yeah, exactly.
And, quite easy to talk to and understanding and all of those nice words rather than a money grabber.
No, but no. And I get that, Louise. And I think one of the key things, they were already trusting you with your accounting information. You've almost got that trust built up already.
Yes.
So they can talk to you about other things. And that must just come as a natural, because of who you are, that must have become a natural conversation. Like, I'm struggling with my social or, my website or this or that.
The downside, I suppose, from my point of view, most of my clients, I tend to only really be in touch with them a couple of times a year.
Yeah.
Okay, some of them are monthly, but the people, sole traders,
Yeah.
self-assessments, I only unless
'Cause
they've
that's
got
all
a
they're
question,
interested in,
because that's all they need.
Yeah.
However, I always say to people, I'm just at the end of the phone. It doesn't have to be just once a year. If
course.
you've got a question,
Yeah.
I'd far rather you asked me about it, than
then wait until the end of the year.
and then
or-
try and remember or risk forgetting or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
do you think that side of your business will allow you to get more of the account? Because it's definitely not, we've said that chat, it's not what you want to eventually become. It's always going to be accounting.
Yes.
But you found that social media is helping that client. So you feel as though that's just an extra string to your bow, for want of a better word.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, unfortunately, it is still relatively new
It is,
service for
absolutely,
me, because
yeah.
I think what happened was I realised that whilst I offer bookkeeping, there are other services that I kind of do anyway.
Yes.
Either for my own business or to help and encourage other people, and that it is something that I could develop.
Yeah, exactly.
Get better at.
Yeah.
Offer to clients. I've already had 2 inquiries just in the
Very
last
good.
3 weeks, I think,
Yeah.
for a website. So that's obviously good. But I think what I need to do now is promote it a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, I obviously need to be in touch with my clients. This is my new website.
Yes.
Some of them have looked at it and some of them haven't. But I need to just, prompt the fact that I can now offer X, Y, and Z. So I can, help you with your social media, help you set up a scheduling platform or something like that.
Yeah, because again, those the tools to get that done they are out there. They're free, But I think it's going back to that point. Bless them, the company's running so hard, just trying to do what they're exceptionally good at. They've offloaded the accounts.
Yes.
Again, a lot of people that I know in terms of my customers, my friends' customers. I'll do it myself because it's cheaper.
Yes.
I'm only paying me, and I'm going. Yeah, but you're not doing it.
Yes.
So, me and Adam already, very easily speak. Adam can potentially go to a customer, offer them a good social media platform, and I'll make it easier. I'm going to do it for £1 a day. They will go, nope, it's too expensive. I can do it myself. There's a flourish of activity for the first 2 to 3 weeks, and then it drops.
Yeah.
Because the other thing that my pet hate is recommendation. I'll go onto the website or I'll go onto the Facebook. Oh, look, they have got a Facebook page. Last post 2019. Okay, so are they active anymore? Are they?
I was guilty of that at one point because, you get swallowed up within your business and the daily happenings of your business. And if you haven't got that regular, either scheduled them 2 weeks or 4 weeks in advance, and you do come down poorly, for example.
Oh gosh, absolutely.
Somebody I know, she was absolutely devastated because she'd been building up a brand new business. She'd just started. She was doing her social media twice a week, I think she'd committed to. but then she was poorly for 2 weeks.
Bless.
And she felt as if she'd almost now had to start back at the beginning. And the lesson from that was, there's 3 of us in almost like an accountability sort of WhatsApp group. And I sort of said, well, okay, maybe learning from that would be to have things scheduled for 2 weeks. So that wasn't me telling her what to do at all. It was encouraging her so that don't feel bad about what's happened because it's happened and you can't change it. However, next time, if you'd had them scheduled, you wouldn't have this problem.
Because you could take
and that's now something that she's taken on board.
But again, that epitomises you, Louise. That's you helping.
Yes.
It didn't cost you anything. It was just
it didn't cost them either because that's just how I am.
No, but I get that, and that's the key. But obviously, that conversation was born out of the conversation that we had. Going, I don't have time to do it. And I'm going, why aren't you scheduling them? But bless you, you're going, I didn't know you're good. But that's me offering your service. You're then offering that. And again, isn't that great? That circle of people just helping each other.
But if you think back when we first met, I mean, I can't even remember between us meeting and me actually getting you to do my website.
Oh, gosh.
Quite a lot of time had elapsed. But as soon as I don't think it was even a website initially. Was there something to do with Microsoft? And I can't even remember.
I think you'd purchased the Microsoft. It had lapsed out.
I can't remember.
But it wasn't the website.
But for me, whatever it was like, oh God, who do I know that can help me? And back to however many, weeks, months ago we'd met.
Yes.
It was, all right, okay, get the business card out. Right, I'll get Andy and give him a ring.
Yeah.
Do you remember me?
Yeah.
Probably not, but actually you did.
Yeah, exactly, I did. But again, that's just a great way of the communication.
Yes.
And obviously, because you know us personally now, helping somebody grow, giving is the new selling. I'll say it again and again and again.
100%.
The lovely fact that you remembered me for months and months. We met once at that Darlington business. I didn't hear from you, and it probably was about 6 or 7 months. Mm-hmm. The fact that you remembered me, because I think I gave you some advice there. I can't even remember, but we obviously twigged, cottoned on. You remembered my name. That's lovely. Mm-hmm. That's lovely for me to hear because you're now doing that with your clients. Mm-hmm. And the fact that, and me and Adam are constantly going on about this. It's not when you asked me about how do I schedule social media. I didn't go, but that's my job. Mm-hmm. I literally went, no, here you go, because it's easily out there if you Googled it anyway. Yeah. But again, what I want to touch on, you were very typical of my customers by going, I don't have time to do social media. Mm-hmm. Schedule them. Yeah, but I've still got to find the time. But you're now at that ilk, and I know we've laughed about it. You've sat there, you sat in a night time, maybe a glass of wine, but you are scheduling those posts. Yes. And you're thinking, done now. It's done, and it's actually quite easy.
I think sometimes as well, to be fair, a lot of it is your mindset.
Yes.
You're getting your mind into, right, okay, for the next hour, I am going to schedule.
Yeah.
And you might get, I don't know, let's say you get 10 done within that hour. So that, in fact, this is my maths brain.
No, exactly.
I'm thinking at 6 minutes each.
Yeah.
If I was to schedule one post, it would take me longer than 6 minutes because I'd have to firstly pour me a glass of wine.
Absolutely.
Get my head right, schedule me. So what did I do last time and what about the time? I don't want it to be repetitive.
Yeah.
So then you spend time going back over the last, say, 2 weeks worth of posts, which if you'd scheduled them, you don't need to do because it's already there. And you're only doing it once.
No, exactly.
So a lot of what you're doing for doing one post only needs to be done once if you're doing 10 posts.
Yes.
You see, the penny's dropped.
Well, I am laughing because last time we were around your house meeting Andy, you very, very, very proudly showed me your social media spreadsheet. But do you know what? It was wonderful because what you've just said there, you opened up that spreadsheet, you've known what you've posted, you know when you've posted, you know what you've got scheduled. Mm-hmm. Do you know what? It's a win-win again, isn't it? Mm-hmm. You've actually managed to do it. So, no, it's been really good, you see. Mm-hmm.
So not only am I scheduling, but it's also on a spreadsheet.
It's also on a spreadsheet.
All of my problems are on an Excel spreadsheet.
Absolutely. Well, listen, that's been a fantastic... After hours gone rapidly. It's rapidly gone. So what we normally do is we normally end the podcast. What are you doing for the weekend?
Oh, well, I think I'm out for Sunday lunch this Sunday.
Very nice. Anywhere nice?
I think we're going up to Ramside.
Oh, beautiful place.
Matthew has
yes, of course. How is he?
He's good.
He's back now, isn't he? He was on holiday.
Just back from Thailand at the weekend, so I haven't seen him since. So
bless. Mummy, daddy, mummy, son time.
Mummy, son time. So I think that's Sunday lunchtime. We need to get garden furniture out of the garage and
gosh,
onto
yes.
the new patio.
The new patio,
Yes.
very nice.
Which will need to be, obviously, we'll need a drink or two
Ah,
at some
of
point
course.
over the summer.
Obviously.
And that's about it, I think. So
Wow.
nothing very we are out for afternoon tea on Friday afternoon.
Friday afternoon, where's that?
Redworth Hall. It was a wedding present that needs to be used before the middle of May.
Right, yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, so that's booked for Friday.
Friday afternoon, though, aren't you working?
No.
Okay. Just so we're clear.
I'm self-employed, Andy.
Oh,
I don't have to
yes.
ask anybody. And I've got the afternoon off.
Well, yes, I know. But has Andy got the afternoon off?
He asked me, and yes,
Yeah,
he's fine.
see, everybody? I have to ask Michelle. Andy has to ask Louise. It's the way of the world.
But because he's taken me, he was allowed.
Ah, I see. That's the way that it goes. Well, what are we doing? I think Friday is a very exciting night. It's we've been invited to the Mayor's Ball.
Ooh.
So that's at the Dolphin Centre. Yeah, we went last year, and that was very nice. So that's
Is
what
that
we're doing.
a Dickie Bowl?
Oh, it is. That should be fully dolled up.
Okay.
Dickie boat and all that, if my weight will allow me. But no, that's the Friday. And then one of my lovely customers, and what a complete, I'm going to tell you now, but it's sort of like one end of the spectrum to the other. I helped a very good friend, Steve Bigland. Hi, Steve. And he runs an MFA fighting wrestling event.
Okay.
So and I sponsored them, and I basically sponsored them from day one.
Right.
Same as the thing. I've just gone, let me just do this for you, and the business is going very well. So we've got free tickets to go to the Middlesbrough Sports Hall, and we are sponsoring
on
Saturday night, and we are sponsoring the event, and we're going to watch wrestlers kick the crap out of each other.
Okay.
So completely different. Dickie Bow.
So you go from very refined to the opposite end of the spectrum, potentially.
Yeah, exactly. But no, that's going to be lovely because it'll be lovely to catch up with Steve. That business has been going about 3 to 4 years, and they're just beginning to get established. We've just done a little bit of a revamp on their website and their instructions on some emails and stuff. So it's lovely to see those. It was nice for Steve.
It's
to
rewarding,
reach out.
isn't it?
Oh, it's
I think
lovely.
when you know you've had a part in it, however big or small, it's just nice to see it.
Honestly, Louise, out of the blue, I got a Facebook message from him, and he's like, "Hi, Andy, we're going to do this. We'd like you to be not guest of honours, but do you know what I mean? We'd like you to invite you for all the
They might
hard
have you
work."
in the ring and hold your arm. I think they should. Give me his number, I'll message him.
No, Steve, no.
But think of your social
No.
media. It could be a social media post.
No. But it was right nice. It was out of the blue. Like you to come down, just to thank you for all of your efforts. So again, that's lovely. Lovely to do. So so that's Friday night and Saturday night. Drinking both nights. So probably Sunday I shall have a quiet one.
Okay.
Yeah. If you know me, that won't be true neither.
Yeah, I did say, okay, tongue in cheek.
Yes, I know, very true. Well, that's been lovely. So thank you, Louise. That was good. Did you enjoy it? Your first podcast?
Yes. No longer what did you call me?
No, I won't say that. But no longer one of them. But that was very good. But Louise, thank you so much for your time. It's been helpful. Hope everybody else has a great weekend. Bye.